More and more first responders in the region are carrying a prescription opioid overdose antidote, Nalaxone. While some consider the move controversial, saying it enables addicts, others, like our next guest, believe that it's a tool that's needed to help fight the opioid epidemic. And a recently announced grant program is making Nalaxone available to first responders across Hampden County. Why do this now? I asked Dr. Peter Friedmann of Baystate Medical Center and Hampden County District Attorney Anthony Gulluni.
Now's the time to save lives, and Narcan has been much more widely available in recent years with government programs and the acknowledgement that we can save lives and give people a chance at recovery. But the four partners that came together, my office, the Hampden District Attorney's Office, Trinity Health, Baystate Health, and CHD, really acknowledged that we can help first responders with their supply of Narcan if we were able to put some forward. So we put together $70,000 between the four organizations to buy a lot of Narcan to supply first responders across Hampden County, because we are acknowledging that addiction is still a major problem. We're fortunate that in the last year or so, overdose numbers are trending downward, and I think that's due in large part to the prevalence of Narcan, that we're able to save lives. But first responders having this across the county, we're hopeful, both EMS agencies, fire departments and police departments able to respond in a moment's notice to somebody suffering from an overdose is going to save a life, and ultimately, from all of our perspectives, is going to give that person a chance at long-term recovery.
Dr. Friedmann, as District Attorney Gulluni just said, overdose numbers are down, but does that mean addiction numbers are down? Isn't that the ultimate goal?
Well, I want to be clear. Fatal overdose numbers are down.
Thank you for making
Overall overdose numbers are actually continuing to rise. And as DA Gulluni mentioned, we now have tools that are more widespread in the community to help first responders and others, community members, individuals who are affected with the disease of opiate use disorder, now have access to Naloxone, or Narcan, which is the brand name, and that allows them to respond to an overdose. What we have in our community now is an epidemic of fentanyl. And
which is a much stronger opioid,
it's
right?
Well, it's not only that it's much more powerful, about 50 times more powerful than heroin, but it's also much faster acting. So and the way we talk about this is in the old days, 15 years ago, when it was just heroin overdoses, you had minutes to hours to give somebody the Narcan and reverse the overdose. Now people talk about it being seconds to minutes because it's so powerful and so fast acting. So really getting the Naloxone out in the hands of folks in the community. I mean, if I had my way, it would be in every medicine cabinet, it would be in every gas station, every bathroom, every first aid kit, every defibrillator box, in addition to getting it out to all of our first responders, which is what this program is intended to do.
But when we spoke with first responders here on the program, we've heard kind of two things very consistently. Is they're constantly going to the same group of folks very regularly to help prevent these overdose deaths. And then also, when people are saved, when their lives are saved, they're not very grateful. They're often angry that they've been stopped. How can this be a good thing for first responders then to have these?
Well, I think those experiences are anecdotal. I'd be surprised if that were the case across the board. But I think that's very much in line with addiction, and I would imagine the doctor would second that this is the process, this is the disease with which these people are dealing, where they're not thinking in clear minds about the situation, the gravity of their condition, the fact that their lives were just saved, but that's part of the process. And each one of these people is a child to a mother and a father, is a brother, is a parent. So if we can keep a family intact, if we can save this life, irrespective of how they perceive it in that moment, I think we're doing our jobs in law enforcement, we're doing our jobs in medical services, as doctors, and that was the beauty of these four organizations coming together to put this money in to buy this Narcan. We're going to save lives, and from all our professional perspectives, and I think our personal perspectives, we're doing the right thing.
Can I just add to that? And your question had two parts, and I'll take the second part first. When you give somebody Naloxone, This is somebody who spent their entire adult life trying to avoid being in withdrawal. As a matter of fact, many times when folks enter treatment, it's because they've developed so much tolerance to the opioid that it's so expensive to get enough to be able to get the high or euphoria, but many are not experiencing a high anymore at all. All they're doing is using to try to feel normal, otherwise they're in withdrawal. So they're spending their whole adult life, entire days trying to find this drug that will keep them from being sick. And you come along, and they're out, they don't know that they're out, and you give them this medicine which instantly puts them into the worst withdrawal of their lives, right? So naturally, it's uncomfortable, they're miserable, you've totally ruined their experience or whatever experience they might have. So it really doesn't come across that, oh, and matter of fact, you were not breathing. They weren't around to see that they were not breathing. Now later, I've had experiences of people coming back who said, this allowed me to go on and go towards recovery. But about the first piece, about the first responders, remember, the first responders are seeing some of the same people again and again, that's true. But the people who they see who get better, they don't ever see again.
Do we have any data on how long it takes or how long the process is for someone who may have relapsed, who may have been seeing these first responders more than once, how long it takes them to get to the treatment point?
Well, it can vary, but we have data that from the time somebody first decides that they want to seek treatment, it takes between 5 and 8 years for them to actually get into stable recovery. But the point is, the first responders are some of the people they're seeing are the most severe cases, but the people who are getting better are disappearing. They're going off and leading their lives, and so they don't remember the people they've saved who didn't come back. They're only, and we talk about this as this is a type of availability bias. You remember those cases that are memorable, right? And oh, this guy again, I remember. And so you generalize to all of your understanding of the illness based on that one person. But you forget those cases who go off and lead their normal lives, right?
With this $70,000 that's now available countywide to first responders, fire and police, do we have any sense of how far that's going to go? Because we've heard a lot about reporting that as this opioid epidemic has become more intense, the cost of these drugs has gone up.
The cost has gone up, and they do have a shelf life, so they have an expiration date, the individual doses of naloxone. So our intention is, as the 4 agencies have come together, is to sustain this. So it's a source for all first responders across the county going forward. Our hope is to replenish this stock as it dwindles down. That's the commitment that I have made as Hampden District Attorney and the other organizations have made. And we're hopeful to continue to assist the existing cities and towns that have Narcan in their police and or fire departments, but also new cities and towns. And that's part of our objective here, is to get this across the county, because not every police department and not every fire department has Narcan in their respective vehicles. And I think the doctor has said it, the more availability for Narcan, the more it's going to be used and the more lives we're going to save. So we hope this is impetus for other cities and towns to engage with their police and fire departments and make sure that Narcan is a part of their everyday regimen on their tool belt.
Just very briefly, if the city or town does want to get involved, who should they contact?
They can contact my office and have a conversation. Typically, it's a little bit fraught with some issues because there are union issues involved with police and fire departments taking on the use and administration of Narcan, but we can help and we can be an advocate, and providing this Narcan can really come from any one of the 4 organizations, but a call to my office, and we'll do our best to help out that particular city or town.